Good evening. My name is Woodrow Winchester III, and I'm the Director of Professional Engineering Programs at UMBC. And I would like to spend a few minutes to discuss some findings as an outgrowth of some workforce scanning that we did at UMBC in support of uncovering the new regional frontiers for systems engineering growth and impact, thus going beyond the aerospace and defense industries. Not only is having a greater understanding of these new regional or emerging regional frontiers a benefit for us at UMBC, specifically from a programmatic development and responsiveness sort of perspective, but this exercise really aligns with the Systems Engineering Vision 2025, A World in Motion, our favorite document. I think that's been kind of quoted or cited quite a bit in a number of the presentations this year thus far, that speaks to expanding the applicability and recognition of systems engineering across a number of kind of dimensions, diverse application domains, enterprises from small to large, and breadth and scope of systems from individual systems to large scale sort of systems of systems. So, as I stated, these findings were outcomes of program or programmatic review, and 3 industries or applicable application domains kind of stood out to us as having considerable programmatic and disciplinary growth from a systems engineering perspective. The first being agricultural technology, often abbreviated as ag tech or vertical farming. This is indoor farming that reflects the integration, actually very intimate sort of integration of technology and agriculture, and specifically emerging technologies such as sophisticated sensor technologies, artificial intelligence, machine learning. Within agriculture, these very sophisticated and oftentimes large scale systems of systems. So an exemplar organization regionally is Bowery Farming. They're located, headquartered in New York, but have a farm here outside of Baltimore in Nottingham, Maryland. And matter of fact, I'm going to have some of their baby kale tonight. Aquaculture, or specifically land-based Atlantic salmon production. These sophisticated systems that are utilized in terms of producing salmon in land-based systems, very sophisticated architectures, sophisticated management systems and infrastructure to kind of support that. And an exemplar sort of organization regionally is Aquacon, planned facility on the Eastern Shore. Some issues right now in terms of permitting. I'm kind of following them quite a bit because they do have some connections from a research sort of perspective to UMBC, but I think they're overcoming those hurdles and have planned huge facility on the Eastern Shore. And what the pandemic has elucidated, public health as evidenced in, among many things, the challenges and breakdowns in vaccination logistics and IT infrastructure. So as mentioned, benefits of kind of expanding beyond aerospace and the defense industries are great. Especially as we see these industries kind of explode in growth, kind of pun intended. Bowery Farming specifically recently raised $300 million as concerns around food production and food security are growing in relevance and prominence. So these benefits, again, are great, span, disciplinary growth, provides diversification of context for growing systems engineering theory and methods, especially for us. And that was kind of the impetus for us in terms of this sort of exploration from an academic programming responsiveness sort of perspective, supporting programmatic differentiation, and also, workforce development as well. And also for us as Incose and systems engineering as a profession in practice, growing the awareness of systems engineering from the perspective of membership and programming sort of development. So some hows, meaning kind of how we can realize these sorts of benefits. some things that we can do now, some immediate sort of action items. Um, and actually, we've already begun kind of conversations with Bowery Farming, for example. So some things that can be explored, facility plant tours in collaboration with Incose Chesapeake chapter and our academic partners, for instance. And I think it could be some really neat things in terms of that spurring and catalyzing K-12 STEM involvement as well. Development of systems engineering approaches and ag tech systems design to ag tech systems design and management. So some scholarship sort of opportunities there. And then also from an academic programming perspective, collaborative development and contextualization of systems engineering education and training programs, in partnership with regional academic institutions. And to kind of bring some light to that and to kind of be a little bit provocative, and throw a vision out there. So, it's really interesting as I was kind of pulling together these slides and doing some additional sort of research in support of this talk, ran across this workforce initiative that was happening in terms of these Western, specifically in California growers, launching this Ag Tech X education initiative. So really, in essence, in terms of, cultivating or evolving the ag, workforce to be better equipped to work in these more technological sort of contexts. So I would offer, we could look at the kind of the flip or the reverse of that. So really kind of work at developing campaigns and initiatives that cultivate, systems engineering workforces or workforce, equipping them with the skills needed to navigate these new sort of agricultural sort of contexts. So I think there's lots of opportunities there, and I'm really excited about getting your questions, reactions, and feedback to this. And again, look forward to kind of engaging with you after all the talks conclude. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you.